When considering my ideology for education, this module has given me the opportunity to have a wide understanding of what this is. Before, if I was asked to discuss my own ideology, my answer would have been unsure. I have now been able to develop a key understanding of other views on education in various education systems, and what for me I believe works well. Furthermore, the focus on key thinkers and different methods of teaching and learning within education has helped me shape my own ideology. Before this module, I had a limited view on teaching and learning, but I am now more aware of different methods that cause me to become more open-minded when it comes to my ideology. When considering the main purpose of education, I believe it should consider the child's individual needs, keep them engaged, take into account their emotions, allow for the child to have freedom, prepare them for society, have no force on standardised testing, and make sure the child is in the centre. When it comes to education, there are three key approaches: individual, society, and knowledge. Different educational systems will hold different views on what they favour. Reviewing what I have learned throughout this module, I believe my ideology most closely aligns with an individual-based approach to learning. Furthermore, when considering my ideology, I believe the Steiner approach to teaching and learning is very beneficial towards schools to help develop the child holistically and not just academically. This is done by creating a learning environment to engage the learner's intellect, practical skills, and empathy. I believe this is important as the learner should enjoy and be engaged in what they are learning. It's up to the educator to put a main focus on each individual child at all times, to be aware of each stage of development and achievement. This can help to overcome their individual struggles. As Steiner pointed out, you should solve the riddle of the child day to day, hour to hour, and from moment to moment. Also, Bartlett and Burton suggests that education is a child-centred approach with the needs and emotions of a child being the forefront of education. Considering my own views, I believe this would be really beneficial to a child's learning, as it would allow the child to be stimulated by a school that is tending to every child's individual need. Moreover, Bartlett and Burton also suggest that education has a learning process of the child being their main concern. This aligns with my view that education is an individual-based approach to learning. When considering the view of Ken Robinson, he states that schools are organised on factory lines and believes standardised testing is the main purpose of education, making his view based on passing down knowledge. This view of learning does not align with my ideology. Furthermore, when looking at schools such as Finland, I believe that other countries should follow this direction of their way of learning. This is due to the fact there is no force on standardised testing as described by Morgan 2014. Furthermore, this will help students to engage with their learning and increase their desire to learn. Research from the OECD has suggested that Finnish students compared to students from the UK experience less stress within education. I personally can relate to this. During my education, standardised testing was a massive factor that caused stress in my life. Therefore, when considering my ideology for education, the Finnish way of educating can be seen to be more beneficial. I believe that within education, a child should be kept engaged throughout the lesson. To do this, the organisation and delivery should be considered. When it comes to organisation of education, it should consider the age of the child and what suits them best within their learning. For example, especially within the younger years, the classroom should be colourful and informative in a way that draws the child in. As well as this, the abilities of the child should be considered, such as higher or lower ability. Furthermore, the delivery should consider all children and offer education that suits the interests and needs of all, making the lessons interesting to keep the children engaged by using a variety of formats and learning equipment. Another key thinker and approach that influenced my ideology of education was Montessori. Montessori had a creative outlook on education and believed that children should have an easy access to resources and materials that can help them grow and learn. She also believed that children should learn through expression and be taught essential life skills. Montessori thought this was important for children to develop their personality through their education and work in a stress-free environment, as described by O'Donnell 2013. Furthermore, the main aspect of the Montessori approach when it comes to learning and teaching that can be seen to align with my own development ideology is the aspect that teachers should support the child by taking a back seat, allow them to make choices based on their own interests to develop their learning, as stated by Isaacs 2012. Overall, I hold the view that it is important to consider all three key aspects of education: society, knowledge, and individual. The purpose of education is to shape a child. For society is to teach children from a young age the norms and values of life and prepare them to be independent within the world. As well as this, education helps children to understand everyday life and the situations within this. So I believe the purpose of education in some contexts is for the needs of society, as it works to produce good workers with the required qualities. However, this is not the main focus according to my ideology. The purpose of education in some contexts is also to impart knowledge about the subject matter being taught. While it's important for students to have a firm grasp of these subjects, I do not see this aspect as the most important in my own ideology. However, I do believe that the main aspect of the purpose of education is the individual, focusing on a child-centered approach. This is due to the fact if a child's development and achievements are taken into consideration, it can help them to overcome any individual struggles as described by Steiner.